about to go do some work on my laptop at a coffee shop. I am probably just gonna stay there until it closes. It closed at 5 p.m. Yesterday, I stayed there until like 4:30, so might do that again today, although I am going a little bit earlier today. I was just there working on my laptop, reading, and it's just the best place to like not be bothered, and it's a place that never gets too crowded, although I never go on the weekend, so I don't know if it gets crowded on the weekend. I don't need to be there on the weekend. But yeah, that's just how we're starting off this vlog. I'm actually gonna start Heartless Hunter by Kristen Cicerelli, and this is also on Kindle Unlimited, so I don't know if I'm gonna take the physical copy. I'm probably just gonna read it on my Kindle. I'm starting this, and maybe we will get to Rebel Witch in this vlog too. Yesterday I was walking through this neighborhood, and this older woman, she like wanted to give away some of her books, but I don't know, she just didn't want to go anywhere, so she like had a little table outside of her apartment or her home, I don't know, and she had a bunch of different books there. So I picked this up from her, and she was like, I didn't want to just leave them out unsupervised because then people would be more, they wouldn't want to take them. And she's right, because anything that's public property in New York or just publicly out in New York, I assume that there's pee on it, either dog pee or human pee, and I would never touch it if she wasn't there. A nice little secondhand book. Catherine Newman is the author of Sandwich, and I have had that book downloaded on my Kindle for a while, but it's kind of a summer read, so I haven't read it yet. This is a different book by the same author. We All Want Impossible Things, and I'm pretty sure this is a book about two women who've been friends for a really long time, and one of them has cancer. It's gonna explore grief, and we're gonna see how she handles that, but yeah, it sounded interesting. It's really short. I'm gonna go now. That's the plan for today. Coffee shop, work on my laptop, start Heartless Hunter. I've also been reading From Lukov with Love on my Kindle by Mariana Spada. And this one, like, it gets going way quicker. I'm loving it so far. I'm looking for the one single belt that I own, and I can't find it, so So basically what I know about this so far is that Rune is a witch and Gideon is a witch hunter, the female main character, and the male main character, they don't know about each other, but witch and witch hunter. And basically by day, Rune pretends to be a dumb socialite, but by night she's actually rescuing these witches. She's helping them to escape after they're captured by the witch hunters. The witch hunters call her the Crimson Moth, and they're all like trying to find out who she is. They have no idea, and she's kind of just walking around the town chilling, pretending to be a dumb socialite, and no one knows that it's her, but it's like this big mystery for everyone else. But basically he's trying to get closer to her because he kind of has a hunch that it's her, and then she's trying to get closer to him just to get intel and to rescue more witches. And I'm guessing somewhere along the way they're gonna fall in love, because that's all I've read so far. That's where I'm at. There's this one quote that already had me giggling. Every time Gideon looked at the young heiress, she reminded him of the sea. Still your breath beautiful on the surface, with a promise of untold depths beneath. Something about that, I just love that already. And so I highlighted it. Even though I have not been in a YA mood lately, I'm having a good time with this one. Also, I just think it's so amusing, some bits of it, because like one, the way that you find out you're a witch, I won't spoil it, I won't say what it is, but that was kind of funny to me. I'm pretty much sensing a love triangle is gonna happen, and on one hand I'm like, exciting, entertaining, but on the other hand I'm like, free YA books from a love triangle between brothers. literally the perfect night right now. I don't even know how well you can hear me because it's raining so hard. It's like beating down on my windows and I absolutely love it. That, my candle going and crackling, reading a book, getting cozy, the big light is off. This is how I need it to be every night. Like, I'm gonna sleep so good after this. Honestly, I don't have that many updates on the book because I feel like anything I could update on now will just be a spoiler. Like, I have this page dog-eared because I kind of wanted to talk about it, but it would definitely be a spoiler. Because the shock that I felt when I read that page was like, if you want to read this, you should go into it and not know that that's gonna happen, because it really like got me. It was a moment where I was like, this is bad. I'm really enjoying it so far though. I expected to enjoy it, but my hopes weren't too high because it is YA after all, and I feel like YA has been disappointing me a lot lately. But this one, good, really good. I'm having an amazing time, and I don't want to jinx it, but so far it honestly has potential to be a 5-star read. Really hope that I did not jinx it. But if it continues going this way, it could definitely be a 5-star read, and that would be my first 5-star read of the year, so it's going well. I am currently on chapter 26, page 179. So yeah, I'm just gonna continue reading, and I don't really know how much I could update, but all I'll say is that they're kind of going back and forth right now. Like, she thinks that she's playing him and he thinks that he's playing her, and then it's like, oh my god, is he playing me right now? No, he like tricked me, and this like back and forth is really interesting, and you just get thrown into the story. It's really fast paced, a little bit of a shocking moment there, and I am just like on the edge of my seat for most of it because I'm like, she's gonna get caught, she's gonna get caught, they're gonna find out her secret. I'm like worried for her. I feel like that's all I can really say without spoiling it. Gonna continue reading, I'll keep you updated, and I'm definitely gonna let you know what my thoughts are. I'm finishing this one in this vlog for sure. I almost forgot my keys. That would have been very tragic because you need like this little key fob thing to get into the building. And no one else is home. If you can hear anything, that's my air fryer. I started dinner, but on my way home on the train, this woman taps me and she asks me, do you know if, she asked me if I knew where something was, And I was telling her like, oh, I think the train actually already passed that, but I could look on my phone for you. And so I was going to like go on Google Maps, you know, because Google is free, remember? And then she's like, oh, so you don't know, you're not sure. And she rolls her eyes as she's saying this, and I'm just like, I'm not sure, but I was trying to help you. Anyway, I just put my music back on. And I was like, what? That was such a weird interaction. You asked me for something, I'm unsure. My phone literally would have told me. Also, I said that I'm pretty sure we passed it, and when my phone finally did load, we did pass it. And I didn't bother telling her that after the little attitude she gave me, but like, I basically gave you the answer. She rolled her eyes and was like, well, you're not sure. Every time people in this city talk to me, I'm just like, I want to go home. I don't want to be out here anymore. Anyway, the Barnes that I went to today, I've never been to that one, and it reminded me of a Barnes in the suburbs. And that's just the best thing ever, because I've been missing living in the suburbs lately. It reminded me so much of just like a Barnes connected to like a mall in a city where that's like the only thing that they have, that mall, like, or like a strip mall kind of situation, and the Barnes is just there next to it, connected. I miss living in the suburbs. I also got crumbl. I have such a love-hate relationship with crumbl. It's mostly hate. But what happens is I would not eat it for like a really, really, really long time. Like, I think the last time I've had it was maybe almost a year ago. Maybe like 9 months ago or something like that. Actually, no, because I remember I tried to go like 9 months ago, and then it didn't work out. Anyway, I would not have it for a really long time, and then they would have a flavor that just sounds so good. And I'm like, I should go try that one. I should just go try that one single flavor, and it always ends up disappointing me anyway. So we'll see if that's the case this time. I got the churro toffee white chocolate chip. I love all three of those things so much. All three of them together sounds kind of insane. It sounds like it could probably kill me. But we'll test it later after I have dinner. The base that they use for most of their cookies, I don't really like it. So why do I keep going back? I don't know. I'm kind of hoping that this one is a lot of cinnamon because of like the churro aspect. And I think that will like drown out the taste of their usual cookie batter that's just not good. While I was reading this all day, I don't even know why I dog-eared this. Probably wanna, oh, I was giggling at this part. Heartless Hunter, page 271, if you know, you know. I literally can't talk about it without spoiling it, but it's so good. I was giggling in public and I was like reading it and I was like, let me not be a freak in public. But it's so good. Please go read it if you haven't yet. I didn't want to speak because I'm watching my show. My show is on. But this is actually really good. I had to heat it up. I think it's because like I had it with me for a while and it's like cold outside. It wasn't hard, but it just didn't taste like a normal soft crumbl cookie. I was kind of caught off guard. I didn't expect it to solidify. Anyway, heat it up a little bit. It's good. I like this way more than I've liked other crumbl cookies. Like for a crumbl cookie, because I usually give crumbl cookies like 3 out of 10. For a crumbl cookie, I think I would give this like a 7 out of 10. This is not even a happy moment, and I'm still like, because she's realizing how much she likes him. Oh no. Why do men have to speak and ruin everything? Wait. feel like people call this book predictable, and maybe it is, but I never see anything coming. I feel like all the little plot twists get me so good. There's just been so much going on in these last couple pages. Like, how are they gonna come back from this? I don't know how I should feel about that. Like, am I okay with this? It is after midnight and I really should go to sleep, but why do I just want to immediately pick up the next one? How are they supposed to come back from that? How are they ever supposed to be together after what happens in this? It really feels like there's no coming back from that, and that's why I just need to know what goes on in the next book, like, immediately. I just need to sit and stare at a wall for a second. I honestly loved how simple the, like, world was. You know, you have to learn about a whole new world every time you start a fantasy book. This one was just really simple. Witches, witch hunters. The people of the town see witches as really dangerous people, and they're being hunted and captured and purged. A witch and a witch hunter would never make sense falling in love, but we have it going on in this book, and it's just the best thing ever. But that ending, why would you do that to me? It's actually so funny how I was talking about how I could see the love triangle from a mile away, like I could just sense it. And I still kind of stand by that, but also it's just so not what you expect when you first go into it. I don't know if you could tell, but this is my first 5-star read of the year. It's a 5-star read for sure, and it's the first one of the year. March, what day is it? Early March. And this is my first 5-star read. I hope we could keep the ball rolling, knowing that I'm going to read the next one in this duology. I probably shouldn't start now. It's after midnight. I'll start it tomorrow with you guys. How am I supposed to recover? I'm just grabbing the books for my February wrap-up because I'm about to talk about all the books that I read in February. And I was just wondering how you guys felt about wrap-ups, because I think sitting down and doing any sort of sit-down video where I'm just talking feels like I'm presenting to a class. It just feels more not casual, you know? Less chill. And vlogs feel like I'm just talking to my besties, you know? It feels fun, very chill. And anytime I have to sit down for a whole video and just talk on one thing, it feels like I'm presenting to class, which gives me flashbacks. I prefer to just like throw these sections into, the sun is like going in and out right now, I'm sorry. I prefer to just like throw these sections into vlogs, like what I'm doing right now. But yeah, let's talk about all the books that I read in February. The first book that I tried to read was Forget Me Not by Julie Soto, and I was reading on my Kindle. I read like 30 pages, hated it. I thought it was so boring. Could definitely be the mood that I was in. But yeah, DNF'd it at 30 pages, thought it was boring. That worries me though, because I put a different book by Julie Soto, Not Another Love Song, on my 2025 TBR. I'll still attempt to read that one, hoping for the best. But yeah, that was my first DNF of the month, and I feel like it really kickstarts something, because I have a bunch of other DNFs and I don't even really remember all of them. I was just like starting books and DNFing left, right, and center. Honestly, kind of proud of myself though, because I would have forced myself to stick through that in the past. I got like 3 books from the library in one of my past vlogs. I think it was like, not the last one, but the one before that. And I attempted to read all of them, DNF'd all of them. Don't even remember what they are. I have to put them on the screen. But I returned them to the library already. My time was up and I tried. I didn't care for any of them. Yeah, I was the queen of DNFing this month. Last month, February. I just wasn't in the mood for a lot. But anyway, the first book that I did complete is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. It was a reread for me and I read it on my Kindle. It's about a doctor who is currently separating from her long-term boyfriend, who is just really the worst ever. They were living together, so he's not fully moved out, and they also work together at the same hospital, so she's still constantly seeing him. And one night she's driving home and her car breaks down in a small town. Very cliche, but in the best way possible. Her car breaks down in this really small town and a hot man saves her. He's a bit younger than her, and that's like her biggest worry. She's worried about what her family's gonna think, her friends, and she's like, I can't date this guy that's so much younger than me, and like that's the biggest like issue in their relationship. But this is such a typical Abby Jimenez book. Like, it's a true rom-com, and I feel like it has such a perfect balance between funny, unserious, but also has some great emotional moments where they discuss both the characters' insecurities and they both have issues with their families, and it's just the perfect balance. I feel like Abby Jimenez does that perfectly, and I loved it so much. The first time I read this, I rated it 2 stars, and this time I read it and I rated it 4.25 stars. Very funny, laughed out loud a lot while reading this, so yeah. The next book that I completed is The Wedding People, and this is a book about a woman who is at a really low point in her life and she goes to a hotel to end it. She just goes to have one last splurge on herself, and when she gets there, there's a wedding going on, but the entire hotel was meant to be reserved for this wedding and all of the wedding people, and everyone kind of just assumes she's a part of it, she's a guest, and they all just kind of start talking to her as if like, what side of the family are you here for? They kind of just include her, but then obviously the bride realizes that she doesn't know her, that she doesn't know the bride, she doesn't know her almost husband, and so she's like, oh, you're not supposed to be here. But she still ends up talking to her a lot in her hotel room and confiding her. They start confiding in each other, and the soon-to-be bride kind of just keeps including her in every activity that they have going on for the wedding week. A lot of it was really interesting, a lot of their conversations were really interesting, but the only thing I would say is that sometimes they would be having a conversation, all of the wedding people, and the main character is kind of just standing there, and like for pages and pages one scene would be going on and they're just having a whole conversation. She's kind of just an outsider, and I kind of get that that's the point. She's observing the wedding people, and it makes a lot of sense to how the book is written and the plot, but I didn't really love it. I just kind of felt like I wanted her to be more the center of attention, I guess, as the main character, or I cared more about her than all these random people. I hope that makes sense in any way. There's lots of discussions about loneliness in here, and I feel like I would have really eaten this up in 2022. Like, one of my favorite books of all time is Sorrow and Bliss, and it's a book that I read in 2022, and I was just like going through that. I guess I was just going through some things that made me really relate to that, and I feel like I would have really related to this and the main character in this book more back then. And I still annotated a lot of this book. One of my favorite quotes in here, I literally have so much underlined. One of my favorite things that I annotated in here is, knowledge is power. All her teachers told her as a kid, which is why she spent the best part of her youth in quiet corners of libraries, reading books as quickly as she could. She wanted to be stronger, bigger. She knew that she would never be taller than her father, never be bigger or stronger, and that this was the only way to one day see beyond her father's house. Something about that just really hit a nerve, touched a spot. I think that this is a book that a lot of people would really enjoy, relate to, see themselves within it. I just fully wasn't there at the moment. I think I'm just at a different point in life. I can still appreciate it for what it is. I think I have the most enjoyable experiences reading when I can relate to people in books. Also, the ending of this book really flopped for me. A lot of this book kind of felt like it was going nowhere, and then the ending came around and I was like, well, yeah, that kind of went nowhere. That's just how I feel. I wasn't very satisfied with the ending. It was like fine. It was realistic. I mean, maybe I just wanted something more to happen. One thing I will say about this book is I feel like I could reread this at a different stage of my life and rate it 5 stars. Like, maybe in a couple months I could reread this and think it's a 5-star read. Just where I'm at right now, it's like a 3.75. So yeah, that's what I rated The Wedding People. So the next book that I read is Wait For It by Mariana Spada, also on my Kindle. And this book is about Diana. She is a woman who became the legal guardian of her 2 nephews in the saddest way ever. Her brother died, so she becomes their legal guardian. And the male main character, I'm not even going to talk about him because I didn't really know who he was for the first like 130 pages. I had no idea who the love interest was, and honestly, if you want to go into it blind, if you want to experience that too, I'll let you have that. I feel like this just shows you how much of a slow burn it really is. Like seriously, first 130 pages, the love interest could really be anyone. I do enjoy a slow burn, but I've realized that I prefer a slow burn where they're like forced to be together, like maybe they work together or they're doing a sport together or something like that. They're just forced to be together and see each other all the time, and like where the tension is like building and you could just see it. Like you could see how they feel about each other. And we did eventually get there in this book, but for like the first 200 pages, we're kind of just with Diana, learning about her daily routine, seeing her with the kids, and her with the kids, very cute, very wholesome. But it was like, this is a romance book, let's at least see the man. But as I said, when we do get to the point where they're always seeing each other and we do see that like tension building, it was so good, and I just wish that we had more of that. I wish this book was longer. They see each other at like baseball games for one of the nephews. They see each other at her, because she's a hairdresser, she cuts people's hair and stuff. They just see each other everywhere around town. It was just perfect. Honestly, it was exactly what I wanted. I just had to work for it a little bit. Mariana Spada makes me work for it. She makes me wait for it. Oh, when you read the entire book and you read about the male main character's past, that honestly makes a lot of sense. I love both of the characters so much. The female main character, I feel like she had so many vulnerable moments, but she's also so strong. Like, she's just such a perfect balance. I feel like sometimes authors write, if they have to write a strong woman, it's kind of just like a sassy woman, and it's like fun. Sometimes it's kind of like cliche and annoying and feels unrealistic. And then also, I know a lot of authors love to write a damsel in distress. And I feel like she was just a human being. She was strong, but she had her vulnerable moments, and she was very loving, caring to everyone, her family. She was amazing. I loved her. And then the male main character, he was just a man, but in a good way. So basically, when I first finished this, I was like, I'm rating this 3.75 stars because how slow the beginning was. Honestly, when I first started this book, I was reading it as my book to put me to sleep, like my bedtime book, and it was working. So like, if a book is putting me to sleep night after night, it's not gonna be rated 5 stars or anything like that. But at the same time, when we get to past that 200-page mark and they start seeing each other more, I was just so invested, and I was just so obsessed with the entire dynamic. And when I finished this book, I wanted more, and I kept thinking about them. It feels like more than a 3.75. Like, I'm thinking now that it's a 4. And it made me like immediately want to go read more Mariana Spada books, which I bought one. I have 2 on my Kindle. I'm currently reading one right now, and I'm loving it so much. So yeah, I think it's 4. It's a 4 for me. The next book I completed is Beg, Borrow, or Steal by Sarah Adams, and this is like the book that made me realize I want to do a wrap up because I want to talk about all the books that I read in a month. I feel like all the books I read throughout a month, I kind of give updates in my vlogs, and you kind of know how I'm feeling about it, if I'm liking it, hating it, or whatever is going on. So far, all the books that I have talked about, I've already talked about them in past vlogs, but this one I literally read in one day in no video, and I was like, I have to talk about it somewhere because I loved it so much. Sarah Adams is an interesting author for me because I literally never think about her or her books until there's a new release, one is coming out, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go read that. And then I always love it. Like, I don't think I've rated a single one of her books under 4 stars. I think 4 stars is the lowest I've given one of her books, and I think that was The Rule Book, or maybe I gave it like 4 point something, I don't know. Point is, I always rate her books very highly, yet I never think about her, and I never think about them either. I think it's because these books are just like really fast, quick, fluffy reads, like nothing too serious. I don't know, they don't really leave a lasting impression, but still so good. This book is about two primary school teachers, elementary school teachers, and they've been rivals since they were in college. They're both very ambitious, very smart, and so they have been competing for things academically within their jobs. They've just constantly been competing since college. This book starts out with the male main character actually moving away with his fiance, but then he returns, like it's the talk of the town that he's back, and he called it off with his fiance, and he's moving into the house next door from the female main character. So that's how it all starts out, and she's like, I don't want you living next to me. So she's kind of like pulling these little pranks on him, and he's doing construction on his house throughout the night, and it's just like this fun back and forth. But they obviously care a lot about each other. They've spent so many years in each other's world, and you can just see how much they care about each other. It's definitely not enemies to lovers. It's really just rivals. They have the same ambitions. They both are authors. This really is another book that kind of balanced the rom-com aspect with deeper moments, because again, these two characters also have issues with their families, both of them, and the female main character specifically is actually, both of them are really like going through this period of loneliness, and they're both struggling with that in different ways. And just seeing them come together, I think one of my slight issues with this is that I was literally reading this thinking there is no way that this is gonna have a third act breakup. Like, it can't happen. It's not possible. It would make no sense for this book to have a third act breakup. And then it came like 3 pages later, and I'm like, oh well, I jinxed this. But also, it just didn't really fit in there for me. I've always said that I don't mind a third act breakup that much. Like, it's not something that pisses me off as much as everyone else, but it didn't really fit too much here. Didn't really approve that much. But it's still, the reunion, the way that they got back together, everything was perfect. Another thing is that I wish the epilogue was a little bit longer. I think I'm just a little bit nosy, and I think this is an unpopular opinion, but I do like an epilogue. I like it to be like maybe 5 to 7 pages, 10 at most. I don't like when an epilogue is too long. I'm not trying to hear your entire life story after the book ends, but I do want to hear a little bit more than, you know. Also, this is the third book in a series. The first book is When in Rome, and it's about the female main character's brother. The second book is Practice Makes Perfect, and that's about her little sister, and she is obviously the eldest sister in that trio. But the thing is, I thought this was the third and final book in this series, since it was like about the siblings, because I thought that it was only the 3 of them. I completely forgot that they have a sister named Madison that lives in New York. And you see, this is what I mean when I say I read a Sarah Adams book and after I'm done, literally will never think about it again. Because after picking this up and reading a little bit about Madison, I'm like, actually that sounds vaguely familiar. Like, she's a chef or something. I'm like, I think that was mentioned in the last 2 books, but completely forgot about her. So I don't think that this is the end of this series. I think Madison is gonna get a book, because there was kind of like a vibe with someone, this like man in the small town, but she lives in New York. So I don't know how that's gonna work. I don't know if she's gonna leave, come back. I feel like this book kind of hints at it and sets it up pretty well, and I'm excited to continue the books in this small town. So yeah, I would happily continue this series. They're such great interconnected standalones. It's not the type of series where I'm like, I need the next book now, I need to know what happens, but yeah, good enough for me to want to continue it and like stay in this world. I rated this book 4.75 stars. As I said, it's not 100% perfect. I also think about the fact that I know I'm never gonna think about this again. It's gonna go on my shelf, and if someone brings it up, I'm like, oh yeah, I loved that book. But I'm just never gonna think about it on my own. So it's definitely not a 5-star read, you know? Close, but not quite. 4.75 stars. I hate to be this annoying person, but Only for the Weak is a book that I completely read in my last vlog, and I gave full, complete thoughts on this book, like very detailed thoughts, literally pros and cons list type thoughts on this book in my last vlog. and either you've watched it and you're gonna think that it's repetitive, or if you haven't, I'm sending you to go watch it. You should go watch it. But I won't be rehashing all of that. Sorry to be annoying, but I will tell you my rating. I'm not that cruel. I rated Only for the Week 3 stars, and as I said, if you want to know more, go watch the last video. So those are all the books that I completed in February, and honestly kind of lost track of all the DNFs. If I can think of all of them, I'll put them all on the screen. And yeah, read DNFs. I need to unhaul some books. This one shelf is getting out of hand. I don't know what I'm unhauling, but let's figure it out together. And if there's nothing to unhaul, then that's a sign that I need a new shelf. But let's see. Okay, so here's what we got. This copy of Fourth Wing is a copy that I got in London when I thought that I wasn't exactly going to love this book or series. I was just so curious about it because everyone was reading it, and I don't really like books from the UK, like paperbacks. They're really stiff and uncomfortable to read. They also just don't match my other copies, and I think I want to get the original one to match these and like annotate that one when I eventually reread it, so I can unhaul this one. This is another book that I got in London, another stiff paperback, but that's not why I'm getting rid of this one. I genuinely just didn't really like this book. It's The Love Wager by Lynn Painter. I used to have this thing where if I like an author and I like a lot of their other books, I felt like I couldn't get rid of the ones that I didn't like. I felt like I needed to keep them all, just like have their catalog going, but like why I don't like this one, so it can go. I like the others, so I keep the others. That makes sense, right? Like maybe someone else will actually like this one. Getting rid of it. Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. I just didn't like this book. I think it's one of my lowest rated books of 2024. Yeah. I don't know why I was about to say 2023. 2024, yeah. It's one of my lowest rated books. Didn't love it. That's it. That's literally it. This is another one, Nora Goes Off Script by Annabelle Monaghan, where I feel like I liked one book by this author, so I should keep them both. No, I hated this book. This one I hated more than Out on a Limb, and this one was definitely my least favorite book of 2024. So why am I keeping it? Also, sometimes I feel like I should keep it to like hold it up when I'm talking about books that I don't like. Like keeping it just to be a hater, why would I do that? I do really love Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan though, and she has a new book coming out this year, and she also has another book that I want to read same time next summer, so it's just like I might as well make room for those that I might actually potentially like, you know? The one that's coming out this year sounds so good, and so let me make room for it. The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I remember enjoying this. I just have no desire to continue the series, and I never think about this, and I kind of just don't really care. It was cool, but it's honestly not really my thing. I don't know what it is about me in this book, and I always, every time I'm unhauling, I think, well, I should keep it because I actually did enjoy it. But yeah, I think I could like hand this one over to someone else who's going to like love it and maybe want to continue the series and own all of them, because that's just not me. And then On Rotation is a book that I DNF'd in January, I think. Very sad. Same author, Between Friends and Lovers, which is one of my favorite books. So yeah, I just didn't vibe with it. I didn't like where I think it was going. Honestly, kind of curious. I think I'm gonna look it up, like look up spoilers for it. But I didn't really like where it was going. I also didn't like all of the medical jargon in this book. And don't come for me and tell me like, well, there's obviously a doctor on there would be medical jargon. Like the female main character in Between Friends and Lovers, she's also a doctor too, and it was very light on the medical jargon, so I thought I would like this one too. I didn't. I'm giving it up. Honestly, that didn't really do that much for making space on the shelf, but a little at a time. was listening to Lady Gaga's new album in the gym, and something about it feels so nostalgic. I'm guessing it's because I used to listen to her a lot in like my earlier years in high school. I don't know, but I like it. I like anything that makes me feel nostalgic. But walking on the treadmill is dangerous because it's like so mindless and there's nothing else to do. Tell me why I ended up online shopping. What is in my nails? Oh, it's like from the equipment. Anyway, yeah, the treadmill, dangerous for me because I end up online shopping for no reason. My sister only likes outdoor walks. She hates walking on the treadmill. I should do those with her now that it's getting warmer outside. I definitely would not end up online shopping if I was walking outdoors. I've only read 2 chapters and I've just fallen back into the story so perfectly. I love the way that it picked back up. Honestly, it kind of picked up in an unexpected way. Like, I didn't expect things to be so calm. But I'm pretty sure this is like the calm before the storm. And this isn't a spoiler at all. It's literally in the description, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna start working together and that's how they're gonna end up spending so much time together. The last sentence of the blurb says, "Now he's faced with a terrible choice. Sacrifice the girl he loves to stop a monster taking back power, or let Rune live and watch the world he fought so hard for burn." So that's exciting. I don't think I'm gonna finish this book in this vlog. I'm actually ending the vlog here because me saying I don't think I'm gonna finish this book in this vlog, I know I won't because I'm ending the vlog here. Because I'm running out of storage. I also honestly realized, like, after a certain point in Heartless Hunter, I could barely update on anything because everything would just be a spoiler. And so the second book would probably be even worse. So just know that I'm enjoying it. I'm having a great time. If I am done this book while I'm editing this, I will put my rating on the screen for Rebel Witch. If not, it'll be in my wrap up. I am confident that this can't be lower than a 4. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you next week. Bye!